Hello friends, welcome to another video on this lecture series of Prepare for Programming Aptitude, and the topic that we are going to discuss today is decision control structure. Friends, before starting, I request you to go to the description section and join my Telegram channel to interact with me. So friends, without wasting the time, let us move ahead and let us try to understand the decision control structures. So first of all, in order to understand that what is a decision control structure, we need to understand about what is a decision. So in our day-to-day life, we take some decision based on the conditions. For example, if I have 10 rupees in my one pocket and if I have 20 rupees in another pocket, I want to purchase some items into the shop, and if the cost of that item is 20 rupees, I will select the note of 20 rupees from my another pocket. So this depends on the decision, depends on the conditions, whatever they are happening. If the cost of the item is less than 10 rupees, I will give him the 10 rupees. If the cost of the item is more than 20 rupees, I will give him both the notes. So based on what is the current condition, we take the decisions. So in the programming also, we need to take some valid decisions at the particular points. So first thing that is needed to be understood by us was the decision, and we take the decision whenever we come across some problem. Accordingly, we take the proper decision. So in the programming perspective, so decisions are based on the conditional operators. So these are the 6 conditional operators initially we will discuss about. So first condition operator is equal to. When I say A is equal to B, it means that I want to compare A and B and I want to check whether they are equal or not. If they are equal, let us say we are going to discuss another decision making statement, that is if. So if I write it something like this, if A is equal to B, it means that I am interested in comparing A and B and I want that whether they are equal or not. If it is equal, I am going to take one decision. If they are not equal, I am going to take another decision. So taking another decision is optional. Taking the second decision is optional. But if this is true, what you are going to do? Similarly for not equal to, if you want to check whether the two numbers are not equal to, in that case you are going to use this operator, A is not equal to B. Another is if greater than, so A is greater than B. So these are all the conditional operators. There are 6 conditional operators. Equal to is used for comparing whether two are equal or not. Not equal to is for comparing them and checking whether they are not equal to. The first one is greater than the second one, that is A is greater than B. The first one is greater than or equal to the second one. So for that purpose, this greater than equal to conditional operator is used. The first one is less than the second one, so less than conditional operator is used, and the first one is not less than or equal to the second one. These are all called as the condition operators and we use them appropriately whenever necessary. Let us move ahead and let us try to understand the condition statements. So if is one of the condition statement that is used in C programming language. Over here in this particular condition, so we are interested in checking a particular condition. So if that particular condition is true, so let us say if A is equal to B, at that time we do some activity, we execute some statement, let us say. Okay, our intention is to execute these statements, it can be one statement, multiple statements based on the condition. If this condition is true, all these statements will be executed. If this condition is not true, that is not decided what to do in the if statement. But in the if else statement, if the condition is true, we are going to take one set of decision. So if the condition is true, we are going to execute one set of statements. And if the condition is not true, that is if A is equal to B is not true, in that case we will take other. If you want to take other set of decisions, in that case we will write all the other decisions into the else part. If there is only one statement, you can write it directly like this. If there are multiple statements, you have to write all these inside a box, inside a block we will say. So statements. So statement number 1, then statement number 2 and so on. Whatever the statement you want to execute, at the correctness of this condition, that is to be written inside the block. Else you have to use another block, and there you can write the multiple statements. So the format is like this. There is another if else condition that is called as nested. So if A is equal to B, inside if I can write another if. So if this condition is true, I may be interested in checking another condition. So A is equal to B, and if B is equal to C, such type of statement, if you are writing if inside the if, this is called as nested if. And for this, for the first if, there will be the first else, and if you want to write else for this, that will be written outside this block. And there is another one, ladder if else. So what is ladder if else is, so if a condition is true, do this, else if you want to check another one, so inside else you can write another condition and you can execute the instructions. At the else of this, again you can have another if, and so on. So these are the 4 conditions of if statement. So another thing, whenever we are discussing about the if statement, we need to discuss about the logical operator. But before discussing about these logical operators, let us discuss a program. At least 2 programs we will discuss, which are based on this if else condition. Friends, before this we have already discussed one program for positive and negative number. You can go to that particular video and you can watch. For your reference, I am putting that video into the description section of this particular video. But we'll discuss some other examples. For example, I want to check whether a given number is even or odd. So I have two things. One is, if the given number is there and if it is divisible by 2, and after dividing it by 2, if the remainder is 0, if I divide a number and if the remainder is 0, so let me go back to the slide and let me try to explain you. So for even number, so if any number x is there, let us say any number x is there, if I divide it by 2 and if the remainder is 0, so let us say 37 if I consider, and if I divide it by 2, so 2 ones are 2, 1 is the carry, and 17, 2 8 is a 16, and the remainder is 1. If the remainder is 1, it is odd number. And if it comes that if I take 34, let us say, and if I divide it by 2, so 2 ones are 2 and 14, 2 sevens are 14, remainder is 0. If the remainder is 0, it is a even number. So I have to use a remainder operator here. Mod is the remainder operator. Mod means percentage. Percentage is the remainder operator. If you do this, x modulus 2, if it is 0, in that case it will be a even number. If it is not equal to 0, in that case it will be a odd number. So let us go back to our programming area and let us try to understand the implementation of this. So I have to read one number first. So declaration, first of all, as discussed in the last lecture, we will do the declaration int, let us say x, okay, and semicolon at the end. So now we have to read the value of x from the user. So I'll prompt the user first. I will write the instruction which will prompt the user to enter the value of x. So enter the value of x. So user will, due to this instruction, user will be prompted to enter the value of x, and then whatever the value of x user is entering, you have to read it. So for that, what we are doing is we are using another statement, and that is called as scanf. Let us say since I am reading the integer value, I will use %d. In last some of my lecture, we have used the float value, and for that we have used %f. Okay, but here our intention is not to divide. We will not get any what you can say fractional value in this particular program. So directly we are taking it as %x. We are taking it as integer. Now we have read the value of x. So now moving ahead, I want to divide this x by 2, and if I get the output as 0, in that case it is even number. If I get the output as 1 or anything which is not 0, the number is odd number. So what we will do is we will take another variable, remainder r. Let us say remainder r, So let us define the reminder r over here. This is r is equal to, so x divided by 2, but what I want is, I want a reminder for that. I don't want a quotient. So the symbol that I am using, the operator that I am using is the modulus operator. Okay, so once the modulus operator is used, now it will give the value of the remainder. Now if the value of the remainder r is equal to 0, it means that, as I told, it means that it is a even number. So I will so let us print here, printf even number, and if it is not 0, so I have written this into a particular block. I am ending that particular block here. Okay, and after this block we have to write else again we need to write it inside the block. So always you construct the block first and then printf else means if the remainder is not 0, at that time it is going to be printf odd number. Okay, now after doing this we have to check whether we have declared all the variables. So r we have taken here, r we have declared here, and then if r is equal to 0, that is the remainder is equal to 0, this is going to be even number, and otherwise it is going to be a odd number. Now try to execute this particular program. So when I run it, what I find is there could be some errors. Intentionally I have left some errors into this particular program. So you can see these errors. There is a error expected, what you can say, semicolon before closing bracket. So line number is 20. So you can go to the line number 20, and before this there is a semicolon missing. So here it is a missing. Again you can find that here also there is one semicolon missing. Okay, so two errors are there. Then main C26 line number 26. It is saying at line number 26, expected identifier opening bracket before closing this one. So I think this is extra, this closing bracket is extra, so I'll remove it from here, and then let us run it. What you will find is the program has executed. If you enter any value for x, so if I enter x is equal to 60 mod 2 is equal to 1, and it is even number. You can see the output generated over here. If we will run it once again, and if we give the value as 91 mod 2 is a 1, and it will be an odd number. Okay, so when 91 mod 2 means what? When 91 is divided by 2, what is the remainder? So remainder is 1. So that's the reason that this is a odd number. So over here I hope you understood the program of even and odd. Let us write another program. Let us try to understand another program on let us say given a number x, and we want to check whether the given number is divisible by 7 or not. Okay, so same thing is to be done now. So enter the value of x, read the value of x, and I want to check whether it is divisible by 7 or not. So in that case what I will do is I will divide it by 7. Instead of 2 I will divide it by 7. Then if r is equal to 0, it means that it is divisible by 7. So we will do the changes here. Divisible by 7, and otherwise in the else part, if it is not 0, in that case it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, and it is not divisible by 7. So now if I run this program, you can see here, so enter any number, I enter 48, 48 is not divisible by 7. So it says that over here you can see the output, 48 is not divisible by 7. If we give 49, let us say 49, then in that case it will say that it is divisible by 7. You can see here at the output over here. So this is how we can extend this particular program for many other things. Let us discuss another program which is based on comparison only. So next program we will discuss on a program in which we want to find out greatest of two number. Greatest of two numbers. So over here we need to read two numbers a. Let us say the two numbers are a and b, and we need not calculate anything. We need to compare these two numbers. So comparison will come here. So first of all we need to read two numbers a and b. So enter the value of a and b. I have made the changes here. Then I have to read two values here. So %d two times, and one is a ampersand a and another is ampersand b. Another is ampersand b. Comma should be there in between the two variables, and here there is no calculation will be done, and here just you have to compare a and b. So if a is greater than b, so what we are going to print here is in the printf a is greater, and if not, if the condition above condition is not true, in that case we are going to write here that b is greater than a. B is greater than a, and if we will run it, so if now here we have to enter two numbers, so 17 and 3, what we will find is a is greater. It says that a is greater because 17 is greater, and if we enter other numbers like 3 and 17, if we will enter 3 and 17, so no comma should be given when you are giving the inputs. So b is greater than e. Okay, so this is the another one. So this is greatest among two numbers. Similarly, let us consider another program in which we want to find out greatest among three numbers. So here we have to read the three numbers a, b and c. We have to read three numbers a, b and c. So enter the value of a, b and c. Now I want to do it for three numbers. So ampersand a, ampersand b and ampersand c, and here we need to read another value %d. And now here there is a problem that at each time I can compare only two values. So a is greater than b. Now here I have to use the if inside the if. So if a is greater than b, now if this condition is true wherein a is become greater than b, now I have to check whether a is greater than c. If both of these conditions are true, I can say that a is the greatest one. So first external part is a is greater than b, and internally I am writing that a is greater than c. So if it happens that a is greater than b and a is greater than c, then a is the greatest, or greatest I will say, GREATEST. Okay, but if this condition is not true, that is the inside condition is not true. What is the inside condition? A is greater than b is true, but a is greater than c is not true. In that case c will be greatest. So else c is greatest. Else we have to print that c is greatest. C is greatest. Similarly, now if this external loop is not true, that is what previously I have assumed that a is greater than b, but now a is greater than b. Based on this we have considered that a is greater than c, but now a is greater than b, this itself is not true. So in the else part of a is greater than b, that is now b is greater than a. So in that case, if I take another condition here, if b is greater than c, so initially we have found that a is greater than b is not true, that is b is greater than a. Now I am comparing it for b and c. So if b is greater than c, in that case b is greatest. B is the greatest. B is the greatest. Otherwise, if this condition is not true and because of not correctness of this condition I came here, and this is also not true. So in the else part of this, what will happen is b is greater than a, but b is not greater than c. It means that it means that C is greatest. So there I will print C is printf C is the largest. C is largest. Is largest. Okay. And we need to give a semicolon over here. So now let us run a program. So if we give three numbers 12, 24 and 6. So here what is going to happen is, first of all, A is compared with B. So here you will find that 12 is compared with B. So B is 24. What will happen is this condition will not be true. This condition will not be true and will come here. B is greater than A, and here again we will compare B with C. Again we will compare B with C. What we will get is B is largest. So that in that case this condition will be executed. So when I run this, the last B is greatest should be executed. Cannot edit. Okay, I cannot edit. I will enter here and B is the greatest one. B is the greatest one. Similarly, you can run it once again, and we will consider now the values as 12, 14 and 16. So now here what is going to happen is 12 is greater than 14, not true. Again it will come to the else part, and 14 is greater than 16, that is also not true. So we will come to the else of this, and C is largest will be printed. So you can see here C is largest is printed. We will run another once more time. So here if I give 12, 7 and 8, in this case what is going to happen is A is greater than B. Yes, it will come here, enter here, and A is greater than C. No, A is not greater than C. So A is the largest, so it will print A is the greatest one. So that will be executed here. So in this way the programs have to be written in the more correct way and more accurate way. You have to practice the programming as whatever you can practice, okay, that you have to practice. So this is about another program of greatest of two numbers. Now what we will do is we'll again move back to the slide, this one. So let us go to the slides. Now here this all the if else statement we have discussed. Now let us discuss about the logical operator. So what is the use of these logical operators is whenever you want to you can say check two different conditions at a single instance, you can make use of all these logical operators. This is a binary logical operator, this is a binary logical operator, this is a unary logical operator. Okay, so let us try to understand them. These binary logical operators are very much useful when you want to compare two different statements. For example, if you want to check two things in a leap year, or let us say in a previous case, if A is greater than B, what we did is we went inside and then we checked if A is greater than C. Okay, if you want to check both of these conditions at a same instance, you can do it by if A is greater than B and A is greater than C. So what is this AND? This AND is a logical AND. It is a logical AND. So as our AND gate works, wherein both the conditions are to be true to execute the particular statement. So in a single instance you will execute both the conditions. If any one of these two is not true, at the time nothing will be executed from this block. It will go to the else part. It will go to the else part, if at all else part is defined. For OR, what is going to happen is, if I written in this way, let us say if A is greater than B, or is double A, or is a parallel line, A is greater than C. So whatever the instructions or statement we have written inside this, they will be executed if any one of these two is true. That is OR. Okay, whereas NOT, so if a value of A is equal to 0, then NOT of A will be 1. If the value of A is non-zero, any value, then NOT of A will be 0. So these are the three logical operators generally they are used. Okay, so again let us again go back to the our programming side, and over there let us try to execute some more examples. So here we will implement and so the same program we will implement greatest among three numbers by using the logical AND. So all the things will remain same. So enter the value of a, b, c, this will remain, then three values are to be read. But over here, if a is greater than b, so you have to write it in a proper way. If a is greater than b and a is greater than c, a is greater than c, if this is true, if this is true, in that case directly over here, if both the conditions are true, you can directly write here. What you can write here is printf a is the greatest. A is the greatest. Okay. Then over here, else, at the else part of this, you can again compare. You can again compare what if a is not, if b is greater than a. Now here, what we can do is we can do in this way. If b is greater than a, b is greater than a and b is greater than c, and b is greater than c, in that case b is the greatest. All these things will not come now. All the things we have embedded into a single statement. Okay, all these things will not come. So b is greatest. If both the conditions are not true, if both the above two statements are not true, in that case the third statement will always be true. And what is the third statement? C is the largest. Without comparing, I can print here printf C is largest. C is largest. Okay, and we have to give the closing parenthesis for this, not parenthesis, closing curly bracket. Now if you will run this, so there is an error. The error is expected line number 18 over here. So here there is one closing bracket expected, parenthesis is expected. I will add it here. Okay, then here also one parenthesis closing. So balanced, they should be balanced. Okay, then if you'll run it now, yes, enter the values of a and b, a, b and c. 4, 3 and 2. 4 will be the larger. A is the greatest. Okay, so the same program written in two different ways by using, this is the second way wherein we are using the logical operators. Let us try to discuss another program by using the logical operator, wherein we want to read a year. So 1999 is a year, 2000 is a year, 2001 is a year. So year, and we want to check whether the given year is a leap year or not. We want to check whether the given year is a leap year or not. So how to check whether a given year is leap year or not? What we can do is, let me go here okay, over here, how to check whether the given is a year is a leap year or not. First condition is, if the year is divisible by 4, it is a leap year. It is a leap year. But the years, let us say 1900, 1800, 1700, 1600, out of this 100, every 100 year, out of this, all these 3 years are not leap year, even though they are divisible by 4, but they are not year. But 1600 is a leap year. Then 1500, 1400, 1300, they are not the leap years, even though they are divisible by 4, but 1200 is a leap year. Okay, so what we have to do is, there is one condition, the year must be divisible by 4, and second condition is the year is not divisible by 100. Both of these conditions are, whenever both of these conditions are true, the year is leap year. And whenever, third condition is, another condition is that whenever the year is divisible by 400, it is leap year. I either. So we have a condition here, if year mod 4 is equal to 0, this is the first condition, and year mod 100 is not equal to 0, is not equal to 0, the year is leap year, or either this condition or another condition is year mod 400 is equal to 0, then also it is leap year. Both these conditions are true, then it is leap year, or this condition is true, then also it is leap year. So this is the condition, and we will implement this particular program and we will try to run it, okay, on the programming part. So let us come here, and so this is leap year program. This is a leap year program. So for the leap year, what we need to read is, we need to read year, and year is going to be an integer. Okay, so printf enter year, it is year, run scanf. We need to read only one value, %d %y. Y is a year, okay, semicolon. If there are three conditions, what if year mod 4 is equal to 0 and double ampersand, and year mod 100, that is to be written inside the bracket again, year mod 100 is not equal to 0, then it is a leap year, or, so I'll write it outside, or is written by double parallel lines, so I have to use another parenthesis. Okay, so this parenthesis is closed here, second parenthesis which is opened here is closed here, and this is the second parenthesis. The third parenthesis still I have to close before that. So over here balanced, you have to balance the parenthesis, and over here y mod 400, this should be equal to 0 if either these two conditions are true at this side, or this condition is true. Any one of these happen, the year is going to be a leap year. So printf leap year, else not a leap year. So again we will print printf not a leap year. Okay, so semicolon, run, there is an error. So what is L value required as left operand of assignment. So L value required, whenever such errors come, okay, at that time you always identify it that so it is a double equal to, whenever it is you want to that it is should be equal, it should be a double equal to. Whenever you give a single equal to, at that time it will be assignment operator. Okay, so double equal to is always a must. So now it is compiled and it is asking for the error. So if I enter 1900, now as I told that 1900 is not a leap year. If I enter, even though it is divisible by 4, but it is not divisible by 400. Okay, so in that case it is not a leap year. Okay, if we'll take any year which is a leap year, for example, what I remember is 2004 was leap year. So 2004 if we'll take, so it will give the answer as It is a leap year. Run it once again. So 2004. So it is a leap year. Okay, so in this way we have to implement the program. So I hope you understood this particular program, but after this program I want to discuss some more things which are very much important to remember. The common mistakes that we make is, so what will be the output of this particular program. So most of you people will think that, so main is there, then int I is there, so I is read here, then printf, enter the value of I, so value of I is read here, let us say. So if I can enter any value of I, for example if I enter I is equal to 45, and if I is equal to 45 you entered 5, if I is equal to 5 you entered 5, otherwise you entered something other than 5. So what will be the output of this? So many of you will think that the output of this will be, if I enter 45, you will think that this is, you enter the something other than 5, but the output will be you entered 5 only, because you are assigning the value of 5 to I. You are assigning, you are not comparing here. So many people, whenever you are using the if and you want to check the condition, it should be I double equal to 5. It should be I double equal to 5. So this is one common mistake. Okay. Another common mistake is this one. Over here what we have done is, so int I and printf, enter the value of I. So after that %d ampersand I, and this one, if we'll write this program, what will be the output? If I enter 45 here, what will be the output? Many of you again think that this will not be printed, but this will be printed, because what has happened is, for if no semicolon is to be given, but here the semicolon is given. So after this if there is nothing to be executed, what I am asking the compiler is, don't execute anything. So after this, if you want to execute this, then this case semicolon should not be there. Okay, these are some common mistakes that we do while writing the programs. So with this we'll wind up this particular lecture here only, and in the next lecture we'll discuss about the switch statement, which is another conditional statement, and in the same lecture we'll try to discuss one looping statement, and in the same lecture we'll try to implement the programs. So thank you for being with me in this particular lecture. So hope you will catch me in the next lecture. Thank you.